Christine, can you possibly help me throw batteries in this last one? I had to restart everything. I had to restart everything. I think I got it working, but I still got to finish rebuilding the web page. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Mic test 1 2 3, mic test 1 2 3.
Check 1 2.
That's whether.
All right, good evening. We'll call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening all. Welcome to our April board meeting. We will start this evening first with the approval of the meeting minutes from our March 11th meeting. This is via unanimous consent. Do we have any questions from the board on the meeting minutes? Okay, thank you. So next we'll move to presentations. Dr. Stage?
Thank you very much.
Finish your snack.
Oh, it's a delicious snack. Tonight, we are blessed with the middle school FFA executive team. Mrs. Bidlack brought them with us tonight, and I think they're going to do something for us. Is that right?
So we have a program update, and we're going to do a performance card. Is that okay?
Bring them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for having us. It's been a while since I've addressed the school board around our program. I think the last time was when we first implemented it into middle school. So I'm really excited to see that. I do have a show to go on with us, but if it's not going us, okay, we provided you all a paper copy in front of you. So we just wanted to give you an update of how our program is going. So once we started this program, we started with ITAL special education in 6th grade for a few years, and we implemented an introduction to ag class for 7th and 8th grade, and it was awesome. We had a lot of feedback, a lot of kids that joined it. So since then, it has bloomed into quite a large FSA program. We have the largest middle school FSA program in Pennsylvania, and between our high school and middle school, we have over 400 students in our FSA program. So going from intro to ag, this is our 5th year offering ag classes. We now offer a wide variety of agriculture classes in 7th and 8th grade. We offer introduction to agriculture, vet and animal science, forestry and wildlife, introduction to mechanical construction. We've offered SAE and FFA, and farm to table class last year. Thanks, Clint. And this year we also included a floriculture class, which I just started teaching last week, and it's already been a huge hit. We have 40 students in that class, and we just started making flower crowns today, and they'll be marketing them, and they're doing the ag business side of that. And we just have pictured here a lot of the activities that we do in class. I have a very hands-on based approach, and it just lists a few of the things that we do. So for example, we've grown over 500 heads of lettuce hydroponically in our intro to ag classes. We've built over 500 miniature greenhouses. We've made 1,000 Christmas swags, which we have sold for fundraising, and that's a huge income for products for our classes. We've built 75 box planners in our mechanics and construction classes. We've tanned over 150 Pennsylvania wildlife hides. We do livestock dissections. We've done deer processing. The students have created websites, business cards, resumes, and this is our 2nd year raising freshwater eels in our classroom. And we just saw one today. It's pretty large. It's a lot bigger than the rest of them. But we just have a couple visuals there of things that you can see. So things that have been highlighted this year is our farm to table and our floriculture class. And we really can't wait to see how that blooms next year. We've already had a lot of success with that and a lot of student participation. So that's the instruction side. To have a successful FFA program, we follow the 3-circle model, and that's instruction with agriculture, FFA, and SAE. So that's a little bit on the instruction side, and the kids really love the courses, and I really love teaching them. So if we head on over to the next side, we're going to talk a little bit about the SAE portion. So SAE stands for Supervised Agricultural Experience, and that is where students are able to take their passions through agriculture, and they are able to learn real life skills to apply them with. So they have to keep record books, they have to keep track of income, labor, expenses, and determine whether or not that it was worth it for that project. So we have a couple pictures here. My students, we don't offer the SAE class this year because we need larger numbers in our classrooms. So we have to do SAE as an independent study. So students will meet in my classroom during their WIN period, and they select a project. Livestock projects are the most popular, so students that like to raise and show animals at the Troy Fair. And during this, they're required to go through a professional interviewing seminar, create resumes, business cards, and publish their own websites about themselves and their projects. So on the left-hand side there, you can see an example of one of my students' websites. So he sold a market goat last year, and it was his very first time. And he also had to create a resume, a business card, and he had to visit 5 buyers in person, so local businesses. He had to wear his official dress, and he had to invite them personally to the livestock sale. And then he had to meet with them at the livestock sale and do a little marketing pitch and see if they would bid on their animals. So that's a phenomenal way that we incorporate SAE into our program. And all of our students create their SAE and AET profile online, so they're all getting to be familiar with the program before they go to the high school. So our next section to be successful as an ag program is through our FFA. And we have 200 members in the middle school this year, which is super exciting. That's between 7th and 8th grade alone. We have competed in a lot of competitions. We pretty much go to almost all of the competition that the high schools in our area go to. Students have competed locally, regionally, and statewide in their competitions. And our students tonight are going to be performing their conduct of chapter meeting competition. So this is an introduction to parliamentary procedure, and they're going to be competing at Penn Tech next week, actually, to determine if they get to compete at states at Penn State University. And they have to take a written test, and then they have to perform a meeting. They're given 3 random motions that they have to make, and then they have to be able to vote on them and complete the meeting and have an opening and closing ceremonies in under 11 minutes. And then they get asked individual interview questions. So that's something that they're going to perform for you tonight, and they're going to go ahead and come on up, and they're going to give you a little taste of what that is going to look like.
The meeting room will come to order. We are now holding a meeting of the Athens Middle FFA chapter. Madam Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers to determine their attestations and report back to you, Madam President.
The Sentinel.
Stationed by the door.
The duties there?
Through this door shall pass many friends of the FFA. It's my duty to see that the doors open to our friends at all times, that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the president in maintaining order.
The reporter. Stationed by the flag. Why by the flag? As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people in order that every man, woman, and child know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to the Virgin Islands and from the states of Maine to Hawaii. The treasurer.
Stationed at the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there?
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. Encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standing through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve this country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the unicorn.
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries, wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Here by the hour.
Why by the
The
hour?
hour is a time honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of us, I am asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and wisdom with wisdom. Madam Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is a symbol of labor and stewardship of soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the President asleep?
The rising sun is a token of a new era in agriculture. If we shall follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Madam President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Secretary will call roll of members.
There are numerous members and guests present. Madam President,
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here?
To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which FFA members should possess.
May we accomplish our purposes, I now declare the meeting of the Athens Middle FFA chapter duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may be properly presented. Does any member care to make a motion?
Madam President,
Serrana.
I move that we update our school board program yearly on our middle school FFA program.
second.
It has been moved and seconded that we update our school board on our FFA program yearly. Is there any discussion? The person who made the motion has the right to speak first.
Madam President,
Serrana.
I believe we should do this so we can update our school board program on all the new activities we are doing, such as our floriculture class.
Madam President.
Theron.
It is important to keep our board updated yearly because of all the amazing opportunities we have in our middle school program.
Madam President.
Charlotte.
I agree, so they know what funding is going towards.
Madam
President.
Graham.
I disagree with this motion, because if we only do it once per year, we'll have too many things to talk about, and it will take too long.
Madam President.
Morgan.
We should in order to keep the school board updated and informed on what all our program is involved in.
Madam President.
Kylie.
I move to amend the motion by striking out yearly and inserting biannually.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we amend the motion by striking out the word yearly and inserting the word biannually. Is there any discussion?
Madam President.
Kylie.
I think we should thank the school board meeting biannually because we have a lot of amazing activities in our ag program, and there is not enough for one per year.
Are we ready to vote? Hearing no further discussion, we shall take the vote. The motion is to amend the motion by striking out the word yearly and inserting the word biannually. If it passes, the amended motion will read that we update the school board biannually on our program. All those in favor of this amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The ayes have it. The motion to amend passes, and the main motion is amended. Madam Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
I have none. Madam President.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this meeting? We are about to adjourn the meeting of the Athens Middle FFA program. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, join me in a salute to our flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now declare this meeting adjourned. Athens Middle FFA relinquishes the chair.
Thank you so much. It's great that they get a little bit of practice in before they go to the competition. So that was just a portion of it. They will be given multiple other motions that they will have to be able to make on the fly, and they will not know what the main motion is until they enter the competition that day, as soon as they enter the room. So I'm very proud of them. I didn't do anything that hard in FFA when I was in middle school. I wasn't even in FFA in middle school, so I am so proud of this group of students and all that they've accomplished. They've already got a little bit of public speaking under their belt. We created a new public speaking competition for them this year at the county level. So when you're in 9th grade, you can compete in the FFA Creed, which is a 5-paragraph speech that the students memorize and can give to a set of judges. This year they did a junior creed, and they did the first 2 paragraphs with the same judges, and they had interview questions, and I took 6 students and they placed the top 6 in that competition. They did phenomenal. Other competitions that they've participated in this year are dairy judging. They will be next month. They do horse evaluation, they've done livestock judging, forestry competition, wildlife, land management, aquatics, the junior creed, miniature landscape designs at the PA Farm Show this year, and they created fresh wreaths that they entered into the Pennsylvania Farm Show for the very first time this year as well. So our school has also fostered FFA by creating a fabulous spirit week every year for FFA week that happens in February. We hold a school-wide petting zoo for all of Rowe, just in my little shop. We do a pep rally now. This is the 2nd year in a row that we've held an FFA pep rally school-wide, and it has been a huge hit. We offer our space to state FFA officers. They come and visit us once a year, and this year our high school was hosting a national FFA officer, and we got to participate in that day as well. Students also participate in community service. This is the 2nd year in a row that we've rang the bell with First Citizens Community Bank, and we do that with them to compete against CNN for Battle of the Banks. And it's been fabulous, and they do teacher appreciation. We've helped with community gardens, and they really do give back to their community. So I'm super proud of them and their fostering of the FFA portion of our 3-circle model. And I want to show you on the next page our community partnerships. I would not be able to run the program that I do or have the experiences that I do for my classes without the communities. So I try to take all of my classes on an industry tour if the time allows or if we're able to fit it into our schedule. And we've industry toured at the following locations: Cummings Lumber, Jellif's Maple, Judson's Feed Mill, the Ellsbury Farm and the Jackson Dairy Farm, Troy Vet Clinic, Rovendale Ag and Barn, Jellif's Maple, Broken Road Beads, and Barefoot Pellets. We've gone a few other places as well, but these are the ones that we continue to repeat going to during our classes, and they are just phenomenal for hosting us. And they usually host a lot of children. So Jackson's Dairy Farm has hosted over 300 of our students at their farm. Not all at the same time, but I think the most at one time was 62. So, but they are troopers. Anytime I ask them if they would like to host us, they say yes. We've had a lot of people that come in and are guest speakers in our classroom as well and provide phenomenal experiences for our students. On the next page there, we had some pretty popular moments in the last couple years through the media. We did go viral for processing a deer in our classroom, but we did that again this year, and it was a huge hit with the students, except this year we actually got to eat our deer. So the students processed it, they packaged it, and then they also ground the meat and made their own venison burgers. They got to cook it themselves, they got to season it themselves, and do whatever they wanted with that. We've been on the radio several times. We were on the news this year for our farm show. Wreath making and our miniature landscaping. I was able to be featured on an Illinois outdoor podcast last year to talk about my forestry class. We've been featured in the Blue and Gold News. We had an article written about our conservation practices in our classroom on the National FFA website. We were featured on the National FFA Facebook page. So we are out there in the media in a positive light, and I just wanted to highlight that. And my next page here, I just included, I continue to try and develop myself professionally to be the best I can for my students. I go to state professional developments. I was able to go to one of the national professional developments a couple years ago, and I would really love to go back, depending on where it is. But I really try to expand my horizons, and if I see something cool, I try to become good at it so I can do that in my classroom for my students. So for the floriculture, for example, I accidentally took a floriculture class because I was the last to sign up for the sessions, and that was all that was left. And we made flower crowns, and I said, I have to do this at school. So then we implemented a floriculture class. But it has been phenomenal. And the last couple pages there, I don't mean to take up a lot of your time. We've had some absolutely amazing feedback from the businesses that we've visited, as well as the people that we have had in our classrooms. So they gave us a great rating, or this is just information that they've sent back to us about how well behaved our students are and how amazing our program is. Some examples are from Cummings Lumber, Dean Jackson from Mount Glen Farm, Tina Pickett, state representative who's entered our classroom a few times, Evan Delp, who is a forester and an Athens graduate. He's come in several times. We have some feedback from our National FFA officer that came and visited our school. He sent us a fabulous thank you note. And just some amazing people that have been able to come in and out of there. So if you would be able to read those at some point, if you have time, that would be awesome. Mr. Michael Brammer wrote us a letter. He's on the very last page. He's the executive director of Pennsylvania FFA as a whole, and he wrote some awesome things about our program. But I really just wanted to give you guys an update about how things have been going at school, and I really want to thank you for allowing me to have this platform and allowing me to do these things with my students. I truly love going to work every day, and I love the things that we do at school, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of all the stuff that's been going on. If you don't follow our Facebook, I really hope that you do. It is linked in here, not linked in here, but we do have a screenshot of it on our marketing page, and we post on there a lot. I try to post on there at least a couple times a week to keep everybody updated on all the cool things that are going on in our classroom. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bidlack. Mrs. Bidlack, before you're done, can you just have us run through and do a brief introduction for all of your executive members?
Absolutely. I will have them come up, tell you their name and their office position. So you guys can do that. So come on up. You can do it one at a time right there.
Hello, my name is Theron May, and I'm serving as our chapter sentinel this year.
Hello, my name is Graham Steinfeld, and I'm the advisor.
Hello, my name is Morgan Smith, and I'm the reporter.
My name is Charlotte Delameter, and I'm serving this year as our secretary.
Hello, I'm Kylie Hill, and I'm serving as this year's treasurer.
Hi, I'm Serrano Marica, and I'm serving as this year's vice president.
Hi, I'm Riley Warden. I am serving as this year's chapter president.
Thank you so much. It's just nice to put a name to all of the faces on the executive team, so thank you.
I'd like to thank Mrs. Bidlack. You're amazing. And to see the 200 students in this program and the students here tonight being so excited, you're doing a great job, and thank you. I'm so glad you're in our district.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to echo that. Very impressive. Every time that you come, you never cease to impress. So thank you, Mrs. Bidlack, and students. I could tell a lot of work went into that. I know that was a lot of preparation, so very good job. Best of luck in the competition. Thank you for joining us tonight.
It is very busy. Yes. Very busy. We're usually sweating by the end of the period. Yeah.
The most coveted time is in your classroom.
What's
And accolade it itself.
What's interesting with FFA, since I had it 40 years ago, 5 years ago, was the number of women we had in class. I would average one a class, but now I think the majority is good to see that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll wait for the microphones to come back
That's
here.
fine, thank you.
All right, so next we will move on to committee reports this evening. So we'll start with finance and operations. Who do we have reporting on finance and operations?
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report?
Nope.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rude. Next, personnel and policy.
We did a routine sort of review of a number of policies that are listed on the agenda tonight. We're recommending we move these to second read. We had a few minor tweaks just to reflect, current policy and practice. Nothing very large. We also just had a couple of these policies that we did share with our director of buildings and grounds, just to make sure that he had a chance to take a look at those and make sure that they still reflected best practice. So recommending that we do just move these to second read this evening and vote on them. And we have provided Christine with those minor tweaks. A couple of shalls were maybe moved to mays and things like that. So just sort of really making sure that it was an accurate representation of our policy.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to curriculum.
Okay, we had a short agenda today. We talked about state testing and getting it prepared for the computer-based testing that they'll be doing and going through all the required training from the state. They're also looking at the arrangement for Keystones at the high school level. A plan has been developed and it's been working, so they're going to work through those kinks and get it ready for May. They talked about the PD that they had last week. The data analysis with the IU was very successful. They also did some trauma team training, instructional coaches, and vertical PLC meetings. On the agenda, you'll notice the district calendar. There's been some corrections made. Some of the corrections were the April 7th date. Mary Ellen, correct me if I'm wrong. The April 7th date is now a full day. It was a weather emergency makeup day, but now it is a full day. The June 9th was going to be a professional development day, and it is now, there's nothing for that day. So the last day for staff will be June 8th, and the June 5th will still be the last day for students. We also discussed how they will be starting interviews for the current application pool starting on the week of April 13th. So that week of April 13th, they'll be starting to do interviews. And that is all.
Thank you. So next, do we have anything for the extracurricular activities this evening? No updates on that this evening, okay. So over to you, Dr. Stage, for a superintendent update.
We will keep it brief and informational. Number one, our middle school FFA is just wonderful, and I'm so glad they're here tonight and running a tight ship. All of our meetings could run that smoothly. pretty impressive.
A lot to learn.
I did want to point out, and they ran out the door, but I think Mrs. Bidlack's there. But Mrs. Bidlack and Mr. Steinfeld were both nominated by the Pennsylvania Association of Agricultural Educators, the PAAE. They were not nominated for a state award, although they both did not receive an award. They were nominated, which is an incredible honor just to begin with. Just a testament to what's happening here in Athens, especially in our FFA and our agricultural education program. Kudos to them. I don't think Ms. Alderfer was nominated this year, but I do know I did get 2 letters, one for Mr. Steinfeld and one for Mrs. Bidlack. Those letters come from PAAE, and they will be put in their personnel file for future reference. So kudos to them and thank you. Also, our 5th grade Odyssey of the Mind team went to state along with 5 other teams from Athens this past weekend. And our 5th grade team, coached by Mrs. Erica Greer, finished 2nd in their problem and have been invited to the World Finals at Michigan State University, May 21st through May 24th, and I might be +1 or -1 on the date there. They're super excited. They met last night to organize. It's a big expense. We're covering the registration cost, and then they got to do a lot of fundraising to get there. But we're super excited for them and are incredibly proud. They've only been at this for, I think this is their 2nd or 3rd year as an Odyssey of the Mind team, and we're headed off to Worlds. And they're going to be competing against not just teams from the United States, teams from across the world, China, Finland, Canada, help me out, Poland. So just as an example of other countries that are going to be there competing, and it's quite a feat. They'll be on the radio tomorrow morning at 8:15 if you want to listen to them. I believe they're on the Choice 102.1, kind of discussing their success. So with that being stated, I hope everybody is following a website or a Facebook page called Ed Votes PA. It is breaking out each week. It's focusing specifically on the right to know documents received by Susan Spica, who is gathering lots of financial information about cyber charter schools, what they're using their money for. And this week it was just Reach Cyber School, Reach Insight Cyber School spent over $350,000 just on Google ads and Facebook ads. I think it averaged $359 per student for them. Just as an FYI, when your tax dollars, it's free, it's not free. When you're saying local tax dollars, they're not. The whole point of school property taxes is that those property taxes are to support the school district. That money comes in, has then distributed throughout the entire state by these corporations, for-profit agencies. And just so that everybody is aware, Connections Academy, CCA, they are a national organization and they're in 30 states. So when you commit to that cyber school, you're committing to a national corporation, and our local tax dollars are being submitted to them. I just can't stress this enough, that it's not free, that it does come at a cost, and it is significant and a burden to the local taxing base. And I'm done now.
Can I just address one thing? Mrs. Alderfer is an amazing teacher as well. She was on leave for half the year, so it's not that she didn't.
No, it's not that she wasn't nominated this year because she wasn't up to par. She just literally was on leave.
Yes, she was on leave.
And we actually had a phenomenal a person in place, Shauna Geiger, who actually obtained employment at Spencer Van Etten as an agricultural education teacher. So kudos to her. Yeah, clarifying. I don't want anyone to feel left out.
And the other thing I just want to clarify is that we're not against charter schools, like for choice, school choice. It's the way that they're billing and the way the money that.
Yeah, like I said last month, school choice is an intensely personal parent choice. It's the how it's funded part that has a significant impact on the local tax base that we can't sustain long term.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stage. We have nothing for the Blast IU 17 this evening, so we'll move to the Career Center. Mrs. Cooper?
Mrs. Smart filled in for me, and she's going to report out.
Mrs. Smart.
Good meeting. It was actually Dr. Delosio's last meeting, so the Sullivan County is taking over in that, the superintendent of record, from that meeting. There were a couple of updates. They had their demonstration night, which was a complete success. They actually had people parked all the way up to 220. It was a packed house, so it went very, very well. They've also paid off their bond and interest payments, so those have all been paid off, which is incredible and really well done by the team. They're progressing with a welding class 2 preparations, so just continuing to expand the portfolio of offerings available. And there was just a fun fact that I thought was really interesting, or a really great fact. They were talking about students that are in the nursing programs, and they were just sharing a fact that the student graduates from 2024, 32 out of 34 have taken the NCLEX-PN board exam, which is a required exam, and the current pass rate from our students is 94% from the students that are at the Career Center. The national average is 83. So I just thought that was like an incredible sort of statistic and number, just to show the students really thriving, in one program as an example. So it was a really good meeting, just, great to see the team and to hear what was going on down there. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Smart. And then you're up next for PSBA.
No other
No
updates.
updates there? Okay. All right, so next we'll move to Mr. Barrett for a solicitor's update.
Just have a couple things this meeting. I apologize for being late. I didn't get out of federal court and Williamsport till 5:30. So it's probably an admission of violating some statutes, but this board authorized us to hire an expert to evaluate, appraise the Lowe's property. Based on that, before we got around to do it, we got an offer from Lowe's, which I haven't had time to lock in yet, but I was told by the solicitor for the county that the commissioners are happy with it, and it appears that they will settle for less than our appraisal fees and our attorney fees. So, and I fine-tune that. I'll run it through the business manager superintendent to make sure my numbers are correct, and we'll go with that. We've also received a settlement on the tentative settlement we did on that lawsuit last month, and I think it's fine to approve the way it is, and I'll forward that to the superintendent in the next couple of days. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett. So next we'll move to visitor comments. Do we have any visitor comments this evening on board action items? Okay, so we'll move on to financial business. Do we have a motion and a second for financial business?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so tonight we have our typical listing of the bills, our general fund checks, cafeteria bills, our secretary treasurer's report, our earned income tax report, our high school and our middle school student activity account reports. Any questions or conversations from the board on those items? Okay, for vote, Christine.
Mrs. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Frisbee?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnick?
Yes.
Mr. Owen?
Yes.
Mr. Rude?
Yes.
Mrs. Smart?
Yes.
And Mr. Teresnowski?
Yes.
Okay, next is personnel. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Okay, so on the personnel listing, this month we have a support resignation, a professional resignation, several support contract updates, a professional retirement, one student employment, and one athletic volunteer. Any questions from the board on those items this evening?
If I could, just a recognition of Mr. Haggerty retiring. He's put in 20 plus years here. Thank you for him. And also, you'll see the professional resignation of Faith West, who's an elementary teacher at SRU. Phenomenal teacher. I believe it's with regrets that she's resigning as well. So.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sage. Okay, we'll go for vote, Christine.
Mr. Frisbee?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnick?
Yes.
Mr. Owen?
Yes.
Mr. Rude?
Yes.
Mrs. Smart?
Yes.
Mr. Tarasnowski?
Yes.
And Mrs. Cooper?
Yes.
Okay, next, contracts and agreements. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so we have three this evening. We have the Misericordia Clinical Education Agreement for next school year, the Endless Mountain Therapy Association Agreement for the next 2 school years, and then the long mowing bid recommendation. Dr. Sage, anything you would like to add on those contracts?
No, yes, actually. The only couple things I'd like to add is the Misericordia contract. We've had an agreement with them for a number of years. It's for OT and PT, like shadowing, professional and internship hours. We just had to update that. The last time it was signed had Diane Place's name on it, so we thought we should update that. And then Endless Mountain Therapy Services is who we use already. I think it's a name change, and it's a renewal. Okay. It's Michelle Leroux. Like, I've only known her by the name of who she is, but it's just an updated to the contract. We continually use them. And then finally, the lawn mowing bid. Kyle and Christine opened up the bids, and their recommendation is to go with Collins Lawn Care and Landscaping. And you can see that.
The low bid was rejected because of a mistake or something?
Yeah, there's a couple disqualifiers on that, and we can talk about it at another time, but it had some disqualifiers in that. And we felt very comfortable with that. And you'll notice that there's quite a disparity in prices for the other 2 bids that we got. Quite a large disparity.
Yeah.
So,
Orders of magnitude.
So just to be clear, the Collins Lawn Care and Landscaping is the one that we're voting on tonight?
that's the
Okay.
that's the recommended bid
Okay.
that we'd like you to accept tonight.
Okay.
Correct. Yes. Yep. That's all the comments I'd like to
Thank you, Dr. Sage. Any additional questions from the board on those 3 contracts? Okay, Christine?
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnick?
Yes.
Mr. Owen?
Yes.
Mr. Rude?
Yes.
Mrs. Smart?
Yes.
Mr. Tarasnowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper?
Yes.
And Mr. Frisbee?
Yes. Okay, next we'll move to policies. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Okay, so we have 9 policies for this evening. As Mrs. Smart mentioned in her report out earlier, we're going to move, the suggestion is to move all 9 from first read to second read. And as you noted, just most of them are either no updates or minimal updates.
Very minimal
Correct.
updates, yeah. Not really in content. per se.
Nothing material. Okay, any questions from the board on those 9 policies? Okay, Christine?
Mrs. Minnick?
Yes.
Mr. Owen?
Yes.
Mr. Rude?
Yes.
Mrs. Smart?
Yes.
Mr. Tarasnowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Frisbee?
Yes.
And Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Okay, next we'll move to section 12, curriculum and instruction. We have a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. So we have 2 items here. We have the FFA overnight trip request, the Penn State Activities Week, and then the 2025 to 26 school calendar that Mr. Trzaskowski summarized earlier in the report out.
And what was the change again?
April 7th. April 7th is now a school day. June 9th is no longer a teacher in service day. It's just June 8th is the last day for teachers.
It basically, it was understood it when the last draft was done, there was 1 too many teacher days and 1 too few student days.
Yes.
So they said that level out.
Correct. This is when Mrs. Rhodes shouldn't trust me to count.
We are good now.
Very
You
good.
got enough eyes on it, they found it.
We thought we had enough eyes on it prior to.
Okay, yeah, any questions then on the, any other items for the trip request? Okay. Then Christine, to vote, please.
Mr. Owen?
Yes.
Mr. Rude?
Yes.
Mrs. Smart?
Yes.
Mr. Terosnowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Frisbee?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
And Mrs. Minnick?
Yes.
All right, next is transportation. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
Okay, so this evening we just have the updated driver's list, which is one driver. Any questions from the board? Okay, Christine?
Mr. Rude?
Yes.
Mrs. Smart?
Yes.
Mr. Terosnowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Frisbee?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnick?
Yes.
And Mr. Owen?
Yes. Okay, so we have nothing under buildings, grounds, or other business this evening. That brings us to the next visitor comments. Do we have any visitor comments this evening? Okay, so then we'll move on to board communication. So there's a few things in the packet for everybody that will not be voted on tonight, but is informational for the board. On to section 18, do we have any board discussion items this evening?
Not a discussion item, but I think we didn't note the school play, the high school play that happened, and I just wanted to recognize that, because it was great.
It was, yeah,
Incredible,
it was awesome.
so.
My
After they
fault.
got the sound fixed.
Yeah, and just so you know, we've invested $15,000 last year in the sound system too, because I went back and checked. I think we just have to do some more training on that, but I don't want to distract that from
It was
our
an
amazing
performance.
actors
Yeah.
and performance.
Incredible
Carly
stage.
Vaughn, Gabe Wagaman, our set design, which is done by the NTCC students as well. So yeah, I apologize, that was on my list and it fell off. So yes, absolutely, ASAG rocked it this year. Yeah, Adam's Family was a good choice.
Thank you, Mr. Smart. Anything additional from the board? Okay, so our next meeting is Tuesday, May 13th at the high school, 7 o'clock with committees at 6:15. We do have a need for a brief executive session for personnel shortly after this meeting. Do we have a motion and a second to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you.